Hey guys, today we'll be covering the new Marvel Rivals patch notes that will be basically coming on the 21st of February. Now, I'm telling you guys, that's exciting. The meta is going to change. There's going to be changes in every comp, and there's going to be changes on which Vanguards people are playing, which supports people are playing, which DPS people are playing. Triple support, I think, is not going to be as strong. I mean, there are many changes that has been made, that is going to be made, and I'm really excited. So first out, I want to shout out XOX Leak that basically translated all of these changes and post them so we can go over them. Now, I'm very excited. Let's just dive right into it. Now, starting off with the Vanguards, we will start with Venom. Now, Venom's Frenzied arrival has been changed from vertical knockback to inwards knockback at 75-degree angle, which I think will make Venom a little bit more mobile and will make an easy arrival for him. Now, the ultimate cost from 2800 to 2500, I think that's massive. I mean, you're already pretty much tanky with Venom and doing much damage, and you can farm the ult now way quicker and use it even more during the game. I mean, that's a big plus for Venom players. Now, moving forward to Captain America. Now, they made some big changes to Captain America. The first one is added the ability to use absolute will for defense during jumping. So I think this is basically means that you can use your shield right now while jumping. This is really massive. It makes completely changing the way that you are playing. Like that's a really big buff for Captain America players. Now the vibranium energy saw projectile speed increased from 60 meters to 80 meters, and the ejection speed after a hit increased from 100 meters per second to 150 meters per second. I mean, they're just making Captain America viable again, and they're just making him really, really strong, and I like it because that's gonna change the meta. You basically seen here a change in the meta right now. Everything is gonna be different after this patch. Everything. I mean, the buffs are great for Captain America mains and are pretty bad for backlines because Captain America is really disgusting and he is all over you and he's distracting you. He's distracting you and not letting you just play the game. I mean, he is gonna be really, really a strong character, a really strong character coming to the next half of the season. Now, moving forward to Thor, they removed the cooldown after the Rune Awakening skill duration ends. Now, that's really strong because right now you usually had a cooldown after you're using the Rune Awakening, and right now if you are charged 3 bars, 3 hammers, you don't have a cooldown anymore. And I mean, that's pretty strong because I don't know if you guys understand, like Thor is already on lower rank, is a massive carry. Now, right now with this buff, which is just small, but we sometimes know that small buffs that makes the character even more viable than it was before are changing the meta completely. Now, this is a really, really strong change. And for people who don't main Thor yet, if you're a low rank and you are not maining Thor yet because there is so little amount of people that know how to counter Thor in the low ranks, then you must start because this is your chance. I mean, it's a small buff, but it's really, really strong. Thor is a strong character, and not just a strong character, he's a strong solo carry, which is great because most of us are playing solo. So I would really look into this, guys. This is really strong change. Now, the next one that we have is Groot. Now, the Groot walls can be placed up to 18 meters up from 15 meters. Now, this is another really small change, but as I said, small changes sometimes change the meta. I mean, I think that this is a massive change because right now, as a group, you are creating space for your team and you can place walls right now from 15 meters away from you to 18 is massive. I mean, it's massive. You are creating space for your team. You are basically doing your job. And there are already many people that are actually good at playing growth. Then right now, good being even better, that's meta changing, guys. That's a statement. That's a meta changing. Now moving forward to Magneto, we got an increase in his primary from 35 to 40, and his metallic curtain energy costs from 50 to 65, and the maximum duration of it is basically decreased from 2 seconds to 1.5, which basically means that you're gonna use his shield for less time right now. So next up we have the changes for Doctor Strange. So his page HP is decreased from 650 to 600, which I don't know. I mean, Strange is such a strong character, and it's really it has he has a strong ultimate, he has a strong portal, he has a strong defense, he has a strong offense. I mean, the HP will hurt him a bit, but I still think that he's gonna be viable, and I think that he's gonna be really good in this next meta, none of the less. Now, moving forward to our strategist, now here are the big changes and the massive hits that this meta will get. Massive changes. The meta is gonna switch, and you cannot even understand by looking at this buffs and nerfs. The meta is gonna change massively. So we are starting with Adam Warlock, which our first support that received the change. Now Adam actually received the buff, which is really good for other mains. So his primary fire damage increased from 55 to 60, and he has now a 60% damage fallout at 40 meters, which basically says that he's gonna have a 60% damage fall off at when he fights basically at longer ranges at 40 meters and above. So the primary fire damage is a really good buff, but the damage fallout that he's gonna do from 40 meters and above, it's gonna affect him a little bit, but I think that's more of a buff than a nerf. Now his soul bond is healing increases from 10 per second to 15 per second. So his healing is increased. It's a really good. It's really good change for Adam Warlock mains. Like, I'm happy to see this. This is really good. The next one that we have is Cloak and Dagger. Oh, come on. I was waiting for this. Yeah, I mean, it, it had to happen. Like, Cloak and Dagger is just dominating the meta from bronze to like celestial to one above all. Like, this character was just broken. I mean, it was so easy to get her ultimate. It was charging really fast, and you played it like many times during a game. So the first one is pretty logical that the ultimate cost increase from 3,400 to actually 4,000. I think that's a massive change. Cloak and Dagger right now will really players will really need to consider on how they play their ultimates, because they could not just spam there every 2 minutes right now. So the dash lanes fog that heals duration reduced from 10 seconds to 8 seconds, which is pretty big impact basically. Now, the pause between dashes reduced from 1 second to 0.67 seconds. Oh, I understand this. This is because, I mean, there were many characters that could ult Cloak and Dagger while she ults because she had a pause like in her ultimate, and Magneto ults and Iron Man ults could really like kill her in mid ult. So right now she's gonna be a little bit faster. So that's actually a buff. This is actually, I think it's a good thing that it's gonna be way harder to kill her right now. Now the healing effect of the dash lanes no longer stack, so only one lane works when overlay on each other. So this is pretty cool. So Cloak and Dagger right now cannot just go forward and back, and then she basically doubles the heal. So it doesn't work anymore. So right now she will need to find a different path on how she's gonna play the ultimate. So that one is interesting. And the Terror Cape vulnerability on enemies increased from 20% to 28%. Now, this is a good buff. This is an ability that you're using a lot playing Cloak and Dagger. I mean, that's a good ability. So I'm pretty happy that they add that. Now, moving forward to Luna Snow. Now, I'm happy to see this change because now, first of all, they didn't touch her kit. So her kit is fine, as I think. Now, they did touch her ultimate, and the ultimate cost right now increased from 4,000 to 4,500. Now, this is massive because you are facing a 3 support meta right now, and actually changing the support ults right now and not changing most of their kits actually brings accountability right now when you are using the support ultimates. Like, you cannot just spam right now Cloak and Dagger ult and Luna Snow's ult. Now it's not gonna happen anymore. If you that's gonna be the difference right now between a good Luna Snow player and a bad one, that you will actually need to know, or actually to think, when you're going to pop that ult. You will not just spam it a couple of times mid game. I mean, that's a big change to the meta. Big one, guys. Now, moving forward to Loki, which is also an S tier character right now in the first half of the season. So they actually increased his ultimate cost from 3,400 to 4,000, which is pretty smart because right now playing Loki, you cannot get away with playing a Cloak and Dagger. You cannot just copy her ult right now and just spam it. Now you also have 4,000 ult cost, so that's a massive change that they did there. Pretty smart. And the ammo increased from 10 to 12, which is pretty good for Loki. Now, that's nice. That's pretty nice. Mentis is next, and it seems like Marvel Rival devs really went after all the support ultimates, and Mentis ultimate bonus HP reduced from 100 to 75 HP. Uh, this is just a statement from Marvel Rivals devs to just eliminate the 3 support meta and actually make it uh less effective. And the last one, not too much to add, Invisible Woman. Her ultimate cost increased from 4,000 to 4,300, just like uh, most of the supports. Pretty much expected. Now, moving forward to the most exciting part, the DPSs, I think, which will have a massive impact on the next meta and on the second half of the season. I mean, the changes that you will see here are pretty cool, I think, and it opens a lot of opportunities for different kind of DPSs to shine. So the first one is Iron Fist. So Iron Fist base HP increased from 250 to 300. His Jeet Kune Do first, second, and fifth attack damage reduced from 32 to 30, and his third and fourth damage reduced from 16 to 15, and his sixth damage reduced from 55 to 50. So I basically think that they are trying to make him a little bit more tanky, but less like less like damage dealer. So that's basically where he's going, where where he's facing basically right now in the new meta, I think. The cooldown time of each hit to reduce the combo attack increase from 1 second to 1.5 second. Okay, and the damage of each hit of the sun punch decrease from 19 to 10. So yeah, basically as I said, like he's basically gonna be more tanky right now, but doing less damage. The harmony recover bonus HP provided increased from 50 to 150 HP. Whoa, that's a lot. From 50 to 150 bonus HP. I mean, that's a lot. With an HP decay at 25 per second. Okay, moving forward, the dragon's defense HP converted from block increase from 150 to 200. I mean, that's nice. That's nice. So yeah, they're basically making him more tanky, doing less damage. I mean, that's an interesting turn for Iron Fist, I would say. So the next one that we have is Mr. Fantastic. So his flexible elongation spell field increased from 2.5 to 5 meters. Now that's pretty interesting because it was 2.5 right now. So right now it has a 5-meter radius. Now that's cool. And now it has a mechanical change as well that now it knocks enemies outwards after landing. This is pretty cool. I would like to see that in game. I think that's pretty cool. Now, the charge, I guess, of flexible elongation increased from 8 seconds to 10 seconds cooldown right now, which 2 seconds is it's pretty massive in a game. I think that that's a lot, but they also fixed the ability, like they made it more interesting. So I think that's cool. Now, the Brainiac bounce damage increase from 50 to 70, which is pretty cool. That's a good one. So he's gonna do more damage right now, and the energy cost increase from 2800 to 34. Okay, that's also like, I mean, that's a buff and a nerf at the same time, but that's cool. And the damage falloff, damage starts decaying at 3 meters to a max damage of 50 damage at 10 meters. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff for Mr. Fantastic here. Now moving forward to Iron Man, his Unibeam damage increase from 120 per second to 140. Now this is really good because he could do right now more damage without the Hulk synergy, which is pretty awesome. And the armor overdrive Unibeam increased from 180 to 190. So that's pretty cool. Iron Man got a buff. Now that's pretty nice for Iron Man mains. Moving forward to Hawkeye. So Hawkeye base health increases from 250 to 275. Now I think that's cool because right now Hawkeye is basically not a real squishy anymore, and it's gonna be way harder for dive characters to actually knock him out using one combo. Now, I mean, that's gonna be pretty interesting. So they basically tried to make it up after nerfing him in the beginning of the season. So his explosive arrows damage decrease actually from 20 to 15, and spell field damage increase from 25 to 32. Now that's pretty cool. So like a nerf and a buff at the same time. Now his crescent slash cooldown decreased from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. Now that's really cool because he's gonna get it way faster right now, and he's gonna use it more and more when people are diving him. And his ultimate right now, bow charge speed is accelerated, draw speed increased from 1.2 to 1.35. So he's gonna be pretty faster right now using his ultimate. I mean, that's pretty cool buffs for Hawkeye mains, and hope to see some of them next season. Now, moving forward to Storm. Now, Storm this season was actually in the first half of the season. She was actually an S tier. She was so good. Everybody were using her. I mean, people in Diamond and above were banning her actually, and it was expected that she's gonna get a nerf. And Windblade right now damage at 30 meters basically reduced from 70% to 60, making you basically do less damage at 30 meters. So yeah, that was expected. The aura. Now the self boost decreased basically from 16% to 12%, and the team boost increased from 8% to 10%. So basically, if you want to get like more damage, so using a team boost right now, like playing with a team comp. So yeah, that's pretty much. So they like nerf her self boost, but the team boost they actually buffed. Pretty logical. So that's not actually really that bad. And the goddess boost, thunder self boost damage decreased from 30% to 25%. Moving on to Star-Lord, so his rocket propulsion actually increases from 1200 to 1800. I think that's a massive change for Star-Lord and for his mobility. So right now you can be really mobile using Star-Lord, even more mobile than you were before, which I think is a substantial change to Star-Lord, and it's gonna be really good for the meta, making him an A S tier DPS again. Scarlet Witch. Now this one is exciting. Like her ultimate right now, you are getting 100 bonus HP applied on cast. Now this is really cool. This is basically like you're getting a shield right now. So it will be a bit easier for you to pop off your ult. I mean, that's pretty much exciting for Scarlet Witch mains. And be careful, you're gonna see a lot of Scarlet Witches in the second half of the season. A lot. Now, it decays at 50 HP, I guess, per second after the interrupt ends. Now, after interrupting or after it ends. So that's pretty much like cool that they didn't actually give her 100% uh, bonus HP. Now that she's after the act actually ends, now she's gonna like the HP is gonna decay, but she's gonna still gonna have a slight amount of time where I think that she's gonna have like a lot of HP, so should be really careful playing against Scarlet Witch in the second half of the season. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of them. Spider-Man received a small buff. His web shooters will recharge. The recharge time decreased from 3 seconds to 2.5 seconds, which is pretty good for Spider-Man mains. They're gonna recharge pretty fast right now, and so nothing was changed actually in his kit or his mobility, which is good. Um, but that's nice to see. There's gonna be more Spider-Man players right now because if the recharge decrease, even and as we said, even the smallest changes sometimes can bring big meta changes. So yeah, I think that there are gonna be some Spidey mains that are happy to hear about this change. Moon Knight. Now, Moon Knight also received the changes in his ultimate. Now, his ultimate conscious fist speed reduced. So, what I think that they did is basically corrected the damage and the logic behind Moon Knight's ult. I think that it did just more damage than it's supposed to. So, they removed the damage from 75 for being in the middle of the spell field, and now each fist will do 150. So I just think that they basically corrected the way that his ultimate works. So basically, not many changes to Moon Knight. I still think that the ultimate is going to be pretty strong. Here is basically a controversial one. I think that Black Widow changes, like, I'm not really happy with them. I'm happy with the first part, not really happy with the second part. So the first part, her rifle capacity increases from 8 to 15. So basically we'll have more shots right now, which is really good. I mean, I'm happy to see it. I think that this is a good change for her, like a massive change. But her ultimate slow down effect reduced from 80% to 55. I mean, why? She's basically a character that there's only a couple of people that actually master her. Not many people are playing her at all because she's not really that viable. I mean, come on, just help her with the dive characters, or help her with something else. Why nerfing her ultimate? She's like, her ultimate is one of the worst in the game, basically, and I don't understand why ruin it even more, because now farming this ult will just not be exciting. I mean, make it more exciting to play her and make her deal more with dive characters, like more easily, or at least that she could put up a fight against like a Black Panther, a Magic, a Psylocke, or an Iron Fist, like dive characters. I mean, this is the kind of changes that I want to see for Black Widow, and I just don't understand why did they nerf her ultimate. I don't get it. Tell me what you think in the comments, because I don't get it. Now, moving forward to Magic, which is one of my favorite characters in the game. I mean, she's so exciting to play, and it kind of brings a tear to my eye reading this changes for Magic. So the Eldritch World damage decrease from 45 to 40. Now, I don't understand why. Like, I mean, it's already hard to play Magic on a high level. Like, you're supposed to have such a good mobility and such a great timing, hitting her dash, hitting her slash. I mean, engaging with her, disengaging with her. I mean, she's so hard to play. So if you are engaging already, then let's do the damage. I mean, I don't really understand this change. The Demon's Rage damage decrease. So this basically means that you will get less damage on like tanks if you play, or less damage or building your shield. So yeah, that's a pretty hard nerf. That's not really good. And her ultimate, which is kind of a good thing, that right now the cost reduced from 3,700 to 3,400. You will get your ult way quicker, which is not a bad thing. Now, the last change that we have basically for a character, for the DPS characters, is Hela. Now, I'm not really sure how do you need to understand this Soul Drainer damage fall off at 30 meters from 70% to 80%. Not really sure what that means. So in this new patch note, there would not only be changes made to the characters themselves, but there will also be changes made to the team ups. Now, the interesting thing and most important is that they didn't just change the characters, they also changed the team ups and how they works based on the changes they made. So that's pretty cool. I really appreciate that. Now let's start with one of the strongest team ups, the Gamma team up, which is Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Hulk. So the Unibeam damage reduced from 220 per second to 200 per second. And that's pretty logical, because right now, after Iron Man's buff, Iron Man doesn't really need to rely anymore. I think that he doesn't really need to rely anymore on the team up that he has with Hulk. So his Unibeam will already be stronger. So that's pretty cool. And there's going to be a lot of people that will be happy to see the Gamma team basically fall and collapse, because right now playing Iron Man, you don't actually need to uh, rely on being part of that Gamma team. So Hulk is also the HP that he gained basically of being part of that Gamma team, basically reduced from 150 to 100 HP. So the next team up that we have is the Psionic Disc, which is the team up of Magic, Black Panther, and Psylocke. Now this is mainly gonna affect Psylocke and BP, which is Black Panther. So the teleport time will reduce for them from 5 to 3 seconds, but the bonus conversion HP will increase from 0.5 to 0.8, which they basically will generate a shield, which is, I think, is a really strong buff. Now the next team up ability, I think it's the full moon that Moon Knight and Cloak and Dagger has. So basically, as I understand, he's gonna get 25 heal per second effect, and that's pretty good. It's pretty exciting for Moon Knight players. An interesting change is the symbiote bond that basically connects Spider-Man, Venom, and Penny. Now, what they did is really interesting, and I really want to see how it's going to affect the game, because they made 50% damage reduction for their ability. But everybody right now thinks, oh man, that's cool. Like, this is awesome, right? But guess what? They add complete invincibility when Spider-Man and Penny are using their ability. Now, this is mind blowing. But I mean, if they left it that way, then that is just mind blowing. But they actually did something that I gotta give them some credit for it. Now, the skill time that Penny and Spider-Man can use it reduced from 4 seconds for Penny to 2 seconds, and for Spider-Man from 4 seconds to 1 second. So basically there's a damage reduction. They're invincible using that ability, and the skill time reduced. So I would really want to see how that will play out. Like that's an interesting change to the game. And the last team up ability change that we have is the Frozen Chi, which connects Iron Fist and Luna Snow. So Luna is gonna get basically a healing increase from 50 to 75 HP, which is a really substantial change. I mean, that's really good for Luna Snow, comparing that she got her ult nerfed basically. So this is a really good team up, I think. The enemy slow effect as well increased from 20% to 30%. So they basically uh like buff nerf Iron Fist, and they basically nerfed Luna, but they made their team up right now stronger. So like these characters won't like fall off the meta, and it together like they will make them really viable. So that would be really interesting to see in the lower ranks and in the higher ranks how people will use that team comp. Now, this is basically it for the new patch notes. So basically we covered everything, and I would really like to thank you for watching. I would like to thank XOX League for leaking these new patch notes. Tell me, what did you like and what you didn't like about the patch notes? What heroes were you expecting to see or not expecting to see? What kind of changes did you like or dislike? That would be really helpful. Please leave a like and subscribe. Tell me what you think in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Peace.